I want to show you how to make a delicate topper like this so it will stand on its own and you can get a skewer in it without it being visible. Now, I have Tylose powder mixed into my fondant. I only use marshmallow fondant. The Tylose powder added to the marshmallow fondant is going to help it set hard and it's going to hold its shape. If you add this to store-bought fondant, it may still remain soft. I highly recommend you make your own marshmallow fondant. I have a video showing you how I do that, and I will link that in the description. Now this fondant has that Tylose mix into it, and I did roll it out about a ½ inch thick. That way that I can get a skewer in it later and you won't be able to see it. I printed that out the size I wanted it to be. However, I thought that little curl on the left side was a little too far away and it might be prone to breakage. So I'm just trying to draw it a little bit closer to the letter so it would be a little bit more secure when I cut it out. And I'm doing my trace cut and smooth method for this. However, do you see how thin that letter is? I don't want it to be so thin because it's going to be really delicate. So I am tracing this a little bit on the outside of that letter. So I'm not going exactly along the line. Do you see how I'm tracing it to be a little bit thicker? When you have delicate letters like this, they can't be too thin or else the fondant is going to break. So everywhere that I trace this, I'm just making sure that I go a little bit on the outside and on the inside of these lines. That way it produces a thicker letter. And you always want to cut out the center pieces first. They could be really annoying to work with. So I'm just making a guideline cut first. I just put the tip of my X-Acto knife in there. And then once I have that guideline, I'm sticking the tip all the way down to the cutting board to cut it out. But do you see how I'm trying to peel it away and not really distort the letter? And I pulled it out and look how dirty that is. I call them dirty, but it's just a little jagged. So I'm taking my tool, that's my Dresden tool, and I'm just pressing the fondant back down on itself to smooth it out. Now this is going to be on top of the cake, so I want it to look pretty from the front and the back. So I'm flipping it over and I'm just making sure there's no jagged edges. And I'm doing the same thing for this middle piece. Now this one's even smaller, so it's even more of a pain in the butt to do. So I started with a little guideline and then I'm sticking the tip all the way down, but I'm working in little sections. I don't want to distort the shape of that little teardrop. So with smaller pieces like this, I find it easy to take my Dresden tool and push the fondant through to the back and then clean it up from the back. So I'm taking my X-Acto knife and just removing the excess fondant and then using my Dresden tool to smooth it out. Again, remember, it's going to be on top of the cake. You want it to look pretty from the front and the back. And now I'm just smoothing the inside of the hole with my Dresden tool. It takes a long time to smooth these pieces, but it's very important to make the piece look clean. So I'm just constantly flipping it over and making sure everything is smooth. And now since I drew that little curl on the left side closer to the letter, it's going to basically stick to the letter. So it's going to be a little bit more secure. So again, I'm cutting this little piece out, doing the same method. I did the guideline first and then placing the X-Acto knife all the way down to the board and then cutting it out, pulling out the excess fondant. And do you see how I work in little sections? I don't want to distort the letter. I'm just trying to remove this fondant. So again, I'm flipping it over, just pressing that fondant down on the back so it looks nice and smooth, and just trying to press all the fondant down so none of it is sticking out and it looks nice and pretty. And now once I have that done, I want to do my guideline cut. So I'm sticking the tip of my X-Acto knife into the fondant and just tracing that line that I made. And do you see how I'm turning the piece and just working in little sections here? And I'm just kind of sawing up and down just to make sure I get this guideline. By making the guideline, you're not going to distort the top part of the fondant when you cut the rest of the letter out. It's an extra step, but trust me, it just makes your piece look so much prettier. And then once I have that guideline done, I stick the tip all the way down to the cutting board and I use that line as a guide to cut this out. It gets a little tricky when you do the rounded edges like this. So do you see I'm working in small sections? I'm wiping off my X-Acto knife as the fondant starts to stick to it. I have a wet paper towel there and I just want to use that guideline as a guide and just cut the rest of this fondant away. So I'm trying to hold my X-Acto blade perfectly vertical and cutting all of this out. I'm not removing the fondant yet because I don't want to distort the E as I'm cutting this out. So I'm leaving all the fondant in place. And then once I have it all cut out, I will remove it. And I'm carefully peeling the fondant away because sometimes it does end up sticking. And you'll see right here, I have to cut it again because it just ended up sticking to the fondant because I didn't remove it right away. So just be careful as you peel this fondant away. You don't want to distort the letter. So again, I'm working in small sections and carefully removing everything. Now, The smoothing process, it probably took me about 10 to 15 minutes. I'm taking my X-Acto knife and taking my Dresden tool and I'm flipping it upside down, and I'm taking my fingers and I'm kind of rounding the edges so they don't look so jagged, and I'm pressing any fondant that's sticking out, I'm pressing it back down on itself. So this is a little process here. You have to work in small sections and just see where any pieces of fondant are sticking out and use your tools and your fingers to press that back down. And I'm also going into those holes, making sure they don't look jagged. You know, this is a process, but it's going to make your toppers look so much better. And once I have it done from the back, I flip it right side up and do the same exact thing. So I'm taking my fingers and just rounding the edges and taking my tools and pressing any fondant that is sticking out back down, so everything looks nice and pretty. I usually realign that back on top of the picture, but I wrote on it with a pen, so I didn't want to do that. So I just have the picture close, and I'm trying to get this in the correct position. That way it's going to dry to the correct shape. Usually I just put it right on top of the paper. Now, using the skewer gets tricky with pieces like this. I can't stick it straight through the middle. You're going to be able to see it. So I have to figure out where it's touching the cake so that I won't be able to see the skewer. So do you see how I have to kind of put it in on an angle a little bit so you won't be able to see it? If I stuck it in straight, you'd still be able to see it. So I need to find at the bottom where it's going to touch the cake. And I'm going to screw this in here. I'm not going to push it in. I'm going to twist it. So I'm putting it halfway through that fondant. That's why I rolled the fondant out about a 1/2 inch thick so the skewer would fit in there. And do you see how I'm putting it on an angle? I'm following the fondant. That way you're not going to be able to see the skewer. So I'm carefully twisting this and making sure it's not going to poke out the front or the back or the sides of this piece. So I'm doing it very slowly and very carefully. This is not sped up. This is done in real time. So now I lift it up to make sure you can't see it from the back, and I'm just making sure that this is going to dry to the correct shape. So I'm just getting it in the right position, and I'm going to set this aside to dry for about 4 days. So I made this on a Monday, and then on Tuesday I flipped it upside down and let it dry all day Tuesday. Then Wednesday I flipped it right side up, let it dry. Thursday I flipped it upside down, let it dry. And now it's Friday and I want to paint this. So that dried pretty hard. It's the marshmallow fondant with the Tylose powder mixed into it, and it's holding its shape. It's not rock hard, but it's hard enough that it's not going to fall apart. Now I have some Rolcom Super Silver powder, sprinkle a little bit in there and get a little bit of lemon extract in that cup. And I'm going to paint this silver. I will link that in the description, but I'm painting the very back, and you want to make sure that you get the side. So I did put a paper towel down on my cutting board so this didn't get all over the place. And I'm just making sure I get the back and the sides. I'm turning it. See, when I turn it the other way, I can see all the parts that I missed on the side. And this dries really fast because it has lemon extract mixed with it. So once that's all painted, I'm just going to let that sit for about 5 to 10 minutes and then flip it right side up and do the same thing, making sure I paint the top, that I got in all of those holes, and that all the sides are painted as well. Remember, this is going to stick on top of the cake, so it needs to be completely covered with the silver. And that dried for about 10 minutes. Now I have my snips. That skewer's a little bit too long, so I'm just cutting a piece off the bottom so it will fit in the cake. And I'm sorry my arm is in the way, but I'm also angling another toothpick down in the bottom of this just to give it a little more security. And when I'm sticking it in the cake, I have to start a little bit over to the left because as I push it down, it's going to go over to the right because those skewers are on an angle. I can't stick them straight down because the letter is going to be crooked. So I'm going to start a little bit over to the left of center and then slide these down to the right. And that's going to shift the letter to the center. And then I'm going to push this all the way down. And here is the beautiful sturdy topper on top of the cake. So there you go, and I know that this was another cake topper tutorial, however, it is a little different, and I get people asking me all the time, when you make letters like this E that I did, like the S on the top of this cake, even this K, and then numbers like 3, 6, 9, 8, they're all kind of, they don't have straight lines like a 1 or a 4 or a 7. So you have to pay attention to, number one, where the topper is going to touch the top of the cake. That's where you want the skewer to go in. And then you want to angle it up into the fondant. That way you're not going to be able to see the skewer. It's not going to poke out. And then also making this a few days in advance, flipping it over every single day so it can dry from the front and the back. And very important,
making the marshmallow fondant and adding the Tylose. You could try store-bought fondant if you want. There's some people, they love it and they use Tylose and store-bought fondant and it works for them, and that's wonderful. It doesn't work for me, so I prefer to do it my way. And all I could do is give you advice based on what I do. So I will link the video of how I make my marshmallow fondant. That will be in the description. But it's very important to make toppers like this days in advance so it can dry, so it has time to dry. The Tylose, I think I said it in the video, it's not going to set it up super rock hard. You're still going to be able to break it, but it's going to hold its shape. It's not going to sag or fall or break unless you put pressure on it. And then also very important, and I showed it in the video, when those skewers are on an angle, you can't stick them straight down into the cake because the letter or number is going to be crooked, and you have to kind of figure out when you slide it down, since it's on an angle, where it's going to end. So you're going to have to start a little bit off to the left or to the right, depending on the angle of the skewer, to get the topper in the correct position. So it takes a little bit of practice, but just like anything, you'll get better the more that you do it. So I hope that helped you guys out. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And just a reminder, I have ebooks with all of the recipes that I use. I have my signature scratch pound cake recipes, my best Dr. Cake mix recipes, my buttercream icing and filling recipes, along with my favorite numbers and my favorite fonts. So they will all be linked below. And I do have a Cake Academy membership program where I can help you elevate your cakes to the next level. All of that information is in the description. Please like this video if you liked it, and if you're enjoying my tutorials, I would be so grateful if you could buy me a coffee. My link is down below. And I would love it if you would keep in touch on socials and you could check out my website. And if you want to stick around, you can watch this video next and hit subscribe and the bell if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. And remember, it's cake. Have fun. I will see you on the next one. Bye.